Very good morning, cadets. Hope you are all doing well. We are into chapter 7 of social and political life, or in other words, civics, class 7. Chapter 7 deals about markets around us. A simple chapter where day-to-day activities such as understanding markets, what's the difference between weekly market or your neighborhood shop or a shopping complex, what's the difference between all these things, because it's a basic understanding about the political and social life and how you have to deal with the day-to-day activities. So chapter number 7, markets around us. Okay, you can see various CD, chappal, screwdriver, chains, sharpener, banana, chair, punching machine, a computer mouse. So all these are the various articles or commodities available in a different place. Okay, we can purchase chappals in footwear shops, CD from the computer hard disk or computer shops. We can get banana from vegetable vendor. So day-to-day requirement of ours is we get in and around our area. And today you can see this scan. It is very common because if you have the scanner app like Phone Pay, Google Pay, or any kind of electronic or digital payment mode, then you can scan and you can proceed your payment, digital transaction. Okay. So why we go to market? We go to market to buy vegetables, toothpaste, masala, bread, rice, dal, clothes, notebook, biscuits, etc. If you list the goods that we purchase, it would be really very long, of course. There are many kinds of markets we visit every day. These include shops, hawker stalls, neighborhoods, weekly markets, and large shopping complexes. So, what are the types of markets? The types of market: hawker stall means a person who comes with a movable small tela or a vehicle, and in which he shouts loudly in your mohalla or area and sells the basic requirement. And we know weekly market, our neighborhood market, neighborhood shop, a shop near to our home, that is called neighborhood shop. Or weekly markets, you can see near Godavari Hotel or everywhere in and around area on Sundays or any other day. Village people from village or other places, they come with the vegetables and all which they grow and they sell. So that is what we speak weekly markets. Then we have shopping complex. Shopping complex where if you go to Gandhi Chowk, Shastri Market, shopping complex. But same way if you go Patil Planet or shopping malls in big cities, the huge shopping malls. So shopping malls is also a type of market. So we have shopping malls, we have weekly markets, we have neighborhood shops, and we have the hawkers or street sellers. So what in this chapter we try to understand how these goods are sold and how this leads to consumer or buyer, and who are those buyers and sellers, and what are the problems persons are facing. So we have weekly markets, neighborhood shops, shopping complex. Okay. Once again, the several articles are displayed. All these articles generally we purchase from the market. You see, this is a different variety. Okay. You can see this is a bookstore. A lady sits besides the road or by the side of the road and sells coconuts and other phenol and all those things. You can see this is a small shop where clothes items are sold, and the other grocery or stationery shops. These are very common things which we come across everyday life. Okay. Now, Before you enter market or before you are going to a market, definitely you will make a list what you want to purchase. That is very common because we have to plan. Simply going to a market and roaming around market in today's scenario of COVID is very dangerous. So generally we make a list what we want to purchase, and with that we adjust our budget. Okay, because we those we have our limited source of income, then we prioritize what is required and what is less required. Weekly markets, simple, there is no need of a complex definition. Weekly markets is nothing but market in a particular place in a particular weekday or Sunday. Weekly markets is so called because it held in a specific day for a week. Weekly markets do not have permanent shops. Traders set up shops for the day and then close them up in the evening. They may set up different place in the next day. There are thousands of such markets in India. People come here for their everyday requirement. Now when you visit a weekly market near Godavari Hotel or somewhere, you may in your village areas and all, you may feel that items are cheaper. Why items are cheaper? Because if you go neighborhood shops, shopping complex, that's a permanent building. So they have to pay rent, they have to pay charges for electricity, they have to pay rent tax to the municipality. So naturally, he has to meet all the expenditure. So his price of the commodity is slightly higher. Whereas weekly markets, the price of the commodity is lower. Why? Because they are not having permanent building, they are not paying money for the electricity, they don't pay heavy tax for municipality. A negligible amount, maybe that day someone is coming and collecting. So that's the reason why weekly markets are generally cheaper. And in the weekly markets, what happens? One specific day, one area they have market, and in the evening they will collect all the leftover items, and next day one more area they will go and sell the product. So weekly market, it's a one of the wonderful concepts in India, because weekly markets mainly targets lower middle class and upper middle class, because the poor or lower middle class generally happy with the weekly markets. Many things in weekly markets are available at a cheaper rate. This is because when shops are permanent buildings, they incur lot of expenditure and they have to pay rent, electricity to the government. They also have to pay wages to their workers. In weekly markets, these shop owners store the things they sell in the home. Most of them help their families by members, hence they do not need workers. Weekly markets also have a large number of shops selling the same goods, which means there are competition among them. If some traders were to charge higher price, people would move to another shop where the same may be sold for a available cheaper when the buyers can bargain and bid. These are very common understanding that why weekly markets are cheap, because of these things. There is no permanent building, there is no taxation, there is no electricity fees, there is no workers or wages given to the employees. It's all managed. And very important, in a weekly market, what happens? Competitions. When you visit a weekly market, you can see hundreds of vegetable sellers, vendors are there. So naturally, there is a competition. One of the advantages of weekly market, what is the benefit of a weekly market, is that most of the things you need are available at one place. That is what, when you visit a weekly market, you get a minor grocery items, you get vegetables, you get minor other toiletries and other stationery items. So in a particular place, you get everything available, whether you want vegetables, groceries or clothes or utensils, all of them can be found in the weekly market. You do not have to go to different areas to buy different things. People also prefer going to a market where they have choice of variety of goods. So we studied about weekly markets. Weekly markets are cheaper because of the reasons which I explained to you. Now, what are the answer? Why do people go to weekly markets? Give three reasons. Who are the sellers in a weekly market? Why do we find big business persons in these markets? Who are the sellers in the weekly market? Why we do not find big sellers like Ambani, Tata Birla are not there in the weekly market? Why? Why are things cheap in a weekly market? Explain with an example how people bargain in the market. Can you think of a situation where the bargain would be unfair? What is called bargaining? Bargaining is, for example, you are bargaining for the price. If vegetable vendor says tomato 30 rupees per kg, then you start asking for 20 rupees. And that is how the bargaining process starts. But sometimes do you feel bargaining is unfair? Somewhere in the corner of your heart you may feel that maybe the farmer who is selling that vegetable may be asking a fair price. That's why you have to think, really bargaining is fair or unfair? So please answer all these questions. Okay. One, why people go to weekly markets? Then why big sellers are not there in the weekly market? Okay. Simple questions. Samir, seller of clothes. Samir, a small trader in a weekly market, he buys clothes from large traders in the town and sells them in 6 different markets in a week. He had other clothes seller to move in a group. They hire a mini van for this. His customers are from villages that are near and marketplace. At festival times such as during Deepavali and Pongal, he does good business. So it's a very common scene because a person who purchases clothes from a wholesale dealer and takes these clothes to deep into the local or remote villages and sells those clothes in a village and makes some business. So we studied about weekly markets. Let us move to the next, that is shops in the neighborhood. For example, in your village, near to your house, if there is a shop in and around, maybe 1 kilometer, half kilometer, maybe next door sometimes. So those shops are called shops in neighborhood. We have seen that the weekly markets offer variety of goods. However, we also buy things for other kinds of markets. There are many shops that sell goods and services in our neighborhood. We may buy milk from the dairy, groceries from the departmental stores, stationeries and eatables and other medicines. So groceries, medicines, milk, these are all we purchase from our neighborhood markets. Sujata and Kavita were sent to buy groceries from their neighborhood shop. This was the shop they usually went to. It was crowded today. The shop owner managed to shop herself with the 2 helpers. So 2 people helping the shop owner. When they managed to get into the shop, Sujata dictated a list to her. She in turn began asking for helpers to weigh and pack the items. Meanwhile, Kavita, on the top of the left shelf, she different brands of detergent kits. Another shelf had toothpaste, talcum powder, shampoo, hair oil. The different brands of different colors looked so attractive. On the floor lay of few sacks. It took almost 20 minutes to weigh and pack all the groceries. Then the Sujata showed her notebook. The woman noted amount 3,000 in a notebook and gave it to back. He also noted that the amount is her big register. Then Sujata took the heavy bags out of the shop. Her family will pay for the purchase for the first week of next month. Most of you may be having this same experience. What is the shop in the neighbor shop? If a neighbor will shop, what you will do? You will not pay money day-to-day basis. Rather, you keep a khata book or a small book in which they enter that this much amount for a grocery purchase on this particular day. And at the end of the day or beginning of the month, Generally, after getting salary and all those things, they settle. So that is what general business in a neighborhood market. So many of these are permanent shops, while others are roadside stalls such as that of vegetable hawkers and fruit vendors and machines, etc. Mechanics, etc. Shops in a neighborhood are usually in many ways useful in many ways. They are near to our home so that we can go there on any day of the week. What's the difference between neighborhood? Because weekly market only on a particular day in a week it is there, but shops in neighborhood every day it is there. Usually the buyers and sellers know each other, and these shops also provide goods on credit. What is credit? Credit is loan. Means you are purchasing today and paying money in the later months. That is credit. This means that you can pay for the purchase later. That's what I said. So we saw Sujata's case. For example, we saw Sujata's case where she not paid money, but shopkeeper just made a note of it and gave her goods. Question: why did Sujata carry a notebook? Do you think this system is useful? Can there be problem? So you have to see, each system is useful. If yes, then you have to say why. If no, then also you have to say why. What are the different kinds of shops that you find in your neighborhood shop? Just make a survey. What are the shops? Maybe medical shops, grocery, milk dairy, bakery, whatever it may be. What do you purchase from them? Why are goods sold in permanent shops costlier than sold in weekly markets by the roadside hawkers? So this is what you will answer. Why permanent shops charges little higher than the roadside or a weekly shops? You might have noticed that there are different kinds of sellers even in the neighborhood markets. Some of them have permanent shops and others sell goods in the roadside. Okay. Now let us move to the next topic, that is shopping complex and malls. So far we have seen two kinds of marketplaces. One is weekly market, second is markets at our neighborhood. There are other markets in the urban areas that have many shops, popularly called as shopping complexes. These days in many urban areas you have also large multi-storied air-conditioned building with a shop of different floors known as shopping malls. In these urban markets, you get both branded and non-branded goods, as you have to read in the chapter on advertising. So what you have to shopping malls? You will definitely visit shopping malls. So shopping malls have several floors, several stalls, and they sell branded products. Like for example, Bata is a branded product, Peter England is a branded product, Raymond's is a branded product, CRM is a branded product. So such many branded products are there in India. So shopping complex may be selling, most of them are selling branded products. And why shopping complex or the malls are very costlier? Because one major reason they sell expensive brand clothes or any other commodity. Second important thing, maintenance and rent in these shopping complexes are very expensive or very higher. That's the reason when you, most of the time when you visit a shopping complex or a mall, shopping mall, air conditioned, fantastic atmosphere, clean atmosphere, you feel a very wonderful experience. But when you purchase certain items from a shopping mall, definitely you feel the price is very higher. Why the price is higher? Because the infrastructure is very costly. That's the reason why the price is higher. Often promoted advertisement claims that to a better quality. The companies producing these products sell them through the shops in a large urban markets, at the time through special showrooms, as compared to the non-branded goods which are cheaper. Okay. So we studied about shopping malls and branded clothes and non-branded clothes. So very simple chapter. Please make note of all the points which I explained. Now left out topic I will explain in the next class, that is chain of markets. Today we are very fond of chain of markets, that is Amazon, Flipkart. It's a chain of markets. Online shopping. Okay. So how online shoppings are different from the shopping malls and other shopping malls. Take care. Wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.